All right, Shalom. Shalom, Shalom. Before I get started with this live lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Double salutations to all you Akim out there laboring in the house of David, the elect. That's pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers. All right, so I'm back at you with another lesson. All right, through the Holy Spirit, the Rakakwadash. And I just wanted to land back off this video I was watching. Felt like it was pretty good. Had some good information here. As you see the title of it, it says, "Who was Baal, and why was the worship of Baal a constant struggle for the Israelites?" All right, and that same struggle of Baal and these idols, all right, these gods of the other nations, are still going on to this very day. All right, our people are still giving unto the snare, all right, of idolatry, man. You know, because a lot of these gods that are a lot of these gods that our people worship today, you know, are the same, you know, Canaanite Egyptian gods from the past, but just under different names, you know. So Jake is still given unto idols this very day, man. All right, and the scriptures go into the fact of how, you know, the Israelites, you know, they love to play the whore, you know, given into the snares of these heathens idols, okay, which are no idols, which are no gods. All right, real quick before I go into the video, that scripture in Jeremiah was in chapter 2. Real quick. All right, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, and verse 11. Open up with that. Okay, this is Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 11. It says, "Have a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods? But my people have changed their glory for that which doeth not profit." Yeah, you know, our people have forsaken the true power, their true power. You know, our people cling on to idols. Okay, the gods of the other nations, which are no gods. Okay, have a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods, but my people have changed their glory for that which doeth not profit. And as I was saying, you know, a lot of these Canaanite Egyptian gods, going all the way back to Nimrod, Ishtar, and Tammuz, Jake is still worshiping these guys today, but they're under different names, different titles. Okay, all the gods of the nations are no gods. All right, reading on. Jeremiah 2 and 12, "Be astonished, O you heavens, at this, and be horribly afraid. Be ye very desolate, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai." Jeremiah 2 and 13, "For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters." You see that? And that's this word, that's this truth, this knowledge, which is likened unto living waters. Okay? Yahweh Shai. Okay? "They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewn them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water," right? So all these other gods, all these other idols that our people hold on to, that still secretly worship unto this very day, all right, they're of no value, all right, worthless. They're not going to save you from the time of destruction, nor do any of these philosophies and false doctrines give you insight of the future, okay, prophecy. Okay, that's why Isaiah 34 tells you that seek you out of the book of the Lord and read. All right, none of these prophecies shall fail. It should not want its mate, roughly paraphrasing. All right, because no other philosophy or book doctrine can be compared to the Holy Scriptures, man. All right, finishing it out. Let's read it again. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 13. It says, "For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewn them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water." All right, because these other philosophies and doctrines don't hold the truth. They don't hold the key to your salvation. All right. Jeremiah 2 and 14, it says, "Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled?" You see that? So going back to the idols, the idolatry. All right. This is why you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Hispanics are in this condition on the earth today, because you fell away from the power. You fell away from the truth. All right. And this was the result. You see that? So we're going to play this real quick because, as we're going to get that in Wisdom of Solomon, the 14th chapter, like it tells you, it says that, I think it's Wisdom of Solomon 14, and we're going to get that chapter as well. But it says, Wisdom of Solomon 14:12, it says, for the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them, the corruption of life. You see that? And this is why Jake is through. All right, so let's get into this. All right, it's a good little video. All right, I just want to land back off, make some points, and we'll wrap it up. Not trying to go too deep at all, but just got some scriptures lined up going into, the folly of idolatry, and why we're in this position today. So as you can see, it says it says the title, it says, who was Baal and why was the worship of Baal a constant struggle for the Israelites? All right, as it is to this day. So let's play it.
Baal was the name of the god who was worshipped throughout Canaan and Phoenicia in ancient times. During the Judges period, the practice of Baal worship entered Jewish religious life. Judges chapter 3, verse 7, NIV. The Israelites did evil in the eyes of the Lord. They forgot the Lord their God and served the Baals and the Asherahs. The practice of Baal worship became widespread in Israel during the reign of Ahab. 1 Kings, chapter 16, verses 31 through 33, NLT. And as though it were not enough to follow the sinful example of Jeroboam, he married Jezebel, the daughter of King Ethbaal of the Sidonians, and he began to bow down in worship of Baal. First, Ahab built a temple and an altar for Baal in Samaria. Then he set up an Asherah pole. He did more to provoke the anger of the Lord, the God of Israel, than any of the other kings of Israel before him. And the practice of Baal worship also affected Judah. 2 Chronicles chapter 28, verses 1 through 4, NIV. Ahaz was 20 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 16 years. Unlike David, his father, he did not do what was right in the eyes of the Lord. He followed the ways of the kings of Israel, and also made idols for worshiping the Baals. He burned sacrifices in the valley of Ben Hinnom, and sacrificed his children in the fire, engaging in the detestable practices of the nations the Lord had driven out before the Israelites. He offered sacrifices and burned incense at the high places, on the hilltops, and under every spreading tree. The plural of the word Baal is Baalim, which means Lord. Baal was a fertility god who was thought to help the earth produce crops and people produce offspring in general. Various parts worshipped Baal in different methods, and Baal proved to be a highly universal god. Various locales highlighted one or another of his attributes and designed special sects of Baalism. Baal of Peor, as we see in Numbers chapter 25, verse 3, and Baal Berith, as we see in Judges chapter 8, verse 33, are two examples of such localized deities. Numbers chapter 25, verse 3. In this way, Israel joined in the worship of Baal of Peor, causing the Lord's anger to blaze against his people. Judges chapter 8, verse 33. No sooner had Gideon died than the Israelites again prostituted themselves to the Baals. They set up Baal Berith as their god.
See, so as we getting in here, as I said earlier, our people always played the harlot, given to these idols, the customs of the other nations. And this is why we were destroyed. This is why we failed, right? Like it tells you that in Baruch. Real quick, let's get that real fast. All right. And this is just the spirit. All right. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4. Let's get that real quick. All right. This is Baruch 4. And this is Baruch 4 and 6. It says, you were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, But because you moved Yahweh Shemal Shah to wrath, you were delivered unto the enemies. Verse 7, the point. For you provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not the Most High. You see that? So as we get into the worship of Baal and how our people prostituted themselves and they went off and they sought after the gods of the other nations, right? Let me bring this out too. All right. Heavy. All right. Second Kings chapter 17 in verse 7, it says, why Israel fell. And we just read that. Okay. We just read that in Baruch. Okay. Baruch 4:7 again. I'll read them both. Baruch 4:6. You were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved the Most High to wrath, you were delivered unto the enemies. For you provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to the Most High. You see that? So this is why we're in this condition on the earth today. All right. And these same gods that have been repackaged, all right, essentially go back to these Canaanite and Egyptian gods. All right, disguised under names, as you can see on this this picture here, man. Okay, all these different idols. All right, these wayward doctrines. All right, they essentially go back to these ancient gods. That's why this place, America, is known as what? Babylon. Okay, which in the Hebrew is Baal, which means confusion. Okay, because really all the gods and idols from all the ancient kingdoms of our captivities are all here in Babylon today. All right, going under different names. All right, but them same spirits, that same energy, all right, is produced here in America. All right, in Babylon. All right, these same gods are put up, if you will, you know, and in other names, you know. So anyway, 2 Kings chapter 17 and verse 7, it says, why Israel failed. You see, why Israel failed. This is 2 Kings chapter 17, verse 7, it says, for so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord, Yahweh Shemal Shai, their power, which had brought them up out of the land of Egypt from under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and had feared other gods. See? And walked in the statutes of the heathen, right? Whom the Lord, Yahweh Shemal Shai, cast out before the children of Israel and the kings and of the kings of Israel, which they had made. Verse 9, it says, and the children of Israel did secretly those things that were not right against the Lord, Yahweh Shemal Shah, their power, and they built them high places in all their cities, from the tower of the watchman to the fenced cities. Yeah, Jake was worshiping secretly in those groves, right? Those secret high places, all right, given solely unto idolatry, man. Okay, and it's the same thing today. That's why I titled the lesson, you know, the struggle with Baal unto this very day. Because unto this day, Jake is still secretly worshiping these idols, man, in some form or fashion, because here it is, right? The truth is out here, man. Okay, many Israelites out there know that they're Israelites, but they still going to church, still calling on fake white man Jesus, still calling yourself a Muslim, a Jehovah Wickedness, you into this new age doctrine. A lot of you are atheists, Satanists, this damn Egyptology, black consciousness, all right, which is all idolatry, which was really set up by the 48ers. All right. One of the two of them was named Frank Boas and Melville Herskovich, which were the founders of pretty much to getting back to Africa, going back to the motherland. They were the founders of pushing that philosophy. You know, pretty much the founders of Egyptology, man. Right. So Jake has been given unto this wickedness unto this very day, and they worship these guys secretly, man. You know, by you know, keeping the holidays. You know, that's another thing. Our people are not going to let go of the holidays. They still celebrate the holidays. You know, they're still into the ways of the world. You know, but anyway, going back. All right, Second Kings 17 and 9. It says, And the children of Israel did secretly those things which were not right against the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shah, their power. And they built them high places in all their cities, from the tower of the watchman to the fenced city. And they set them up images and groves in every high hill and under every green tree. And they burnt incense in all the high places, and did as the heathen, whom the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai carried away before them, and wrought wicked things to provoke the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai unto anger. And what happened when we provoked the Lord unto anger? We were given away. We were delivered unto our enemies. Right? We were conquered by the nations, man. We went into captivity. You see that? Verse 12, it says, for they served idols, whereof the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shah had said unto them, you should not do this thing. Verse 13, it says, yet the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shah testified against Israel and against Judah by all the prophets and by all the seers, saying, turn ye from your evil ways and keep my commandments and my statutes according to all the law which I commanded your fathers, and which I sent you by my servants, the prophets. So, hey, here it is. The men of the Lord, the prophets of Yahweh Shemel Shah are back on the earth today, and we're delivering the same message unto our people this very day. All right? To let go of these dumb idols, man. All right? These wicked philosophies that are all vanity, and come back and serve the true power of Israel, man. Yahweh Shemel Shah is the same thing. Same message that was delivered unto our people in the ancient time, we delivering the same message today, man. And Jake is still giving unto idolatry this very day. Scriptures say that nothing new is under the sun. All right, that which has been before is now. You see, 2 Kings 17:13 again, it says, yet the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai testified against Israel and against Judah by all the prophets and by all the seers, saying, turn ye from your evil ways and keep my commandments and my statutes according to all the law which I commanded your fathers, and which I sent to you by my servants, the prophets. Verse 14, notwithstanding they would not hear, but harden their necks. All right. Scriptures say that our people are what? A stiff-necked people. All right. Jake is hard-headed, man. You know, but harden their necks like the neck of their fathers. You see, that did not believe in the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai, their power, right? Verse 15, and they rejected his statutes and his covenant that he made with their fathers, and his testimonies which he testified against them, and they followed vanity and became vain, and went after the heathen that were round about them, concerning whom the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai had charged them that they should not do like them. You see that? But Jake didn't want to listen. Okay, Jake followed vanity and became vain and went after the heathen. Same thing today. All right. Jake became vain and went after the ways of the heathen. Okay, you got niggas claiming to be Buddhist. All right, into Hinduism. All right, this Egyptology, Islam. All right, a lot of you Jake women into the witchcraft. You know, all this stuff going back to Baal. All right, Nimrod, Ishtar, and Tammuz. You know, the gods of the Canaanites and the Phoenicians. You know, these Hamitic gods. You know, Serapis Christos. Okay, Scientology, Northern Kingdom, Santa Maria, Catholicism. All right, all this very day, man. All right. 2 Kings 17:16, it says, and they left all the commandments of the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shah, their power, and made molten images, even 2 calves, and made a grove, and worshipped all the hosts of heaven, and served Baal. You see? And they caused their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire, and used divination, witchcraft, sorcery, and used divination and enchantments, and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai, to provoke him to anger. It's the same thing today, man. All right, the god of Molech, child sacrifice, they burn their kids in the fire. All right. The Planned Parenthood today, abortions, the same thing. The celebration of these holidays, right? Divination, witchcraft, and enchantments, man. It's the same thing. All right. So let's go back to the video. All right. And Lord's will, this lesson is edifying for all those that are tuning in, man. It's just heavy, man. All right. So let's go back. Where we at?
Causing the Lord's anger to blaze against his people. Judges chapter 8, verse 33. No sooner had Gideon died than the Israelites again prostituted themselves to the Baals. They set up Baal Berith as their god. The word Baal appears infrequently in the Old Testament as a personal name. The word's etymology shows that Baal was considered as the owner of a certain location, thereby limiting its use to individuals who were no longer nomads but had settled down. These local Baals were thought to be in charge of agriculture, creatures, and humanity's fertility. It was crucial to win their favor, especially in a place like Pal, where there are few natural streams or springs, and rainfall is unpredictable. This led to the adoption of extreme forms in the cultus, including the practice of ritual prostitution and child sacrifice. Judges chapter 2, verse 17, New King James Version. Yet they would not listen to their judges, but they played the harlot with other gods and bowed down to them. They turned quickly from the way in which their fathers walked, in obeying the commandments of the Lord. They did not do so. Amos chapter 10, verse 7, New King James Version. They pant after the dust of the earth, which is on the head of the poor, and pervert the way of the humble. A man and his father go into the same girl to defile my holy name. Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 9, New King James Version. Will you steal, murder, commit adultery, swear falsely, burn incense to Baal, and walk after other gods whom you do not know? The most meaningful use of the title in the Old Testament is its reference to the great active god of the Canaanite pantheon. An equation with Hadad, the Amorite god, whose nature and functions were almost identical, seems clear. Baal eventually ascended to the position of preeminent deity in the region. Part of this process, according to some researchers, can be traced back to the Ugaritic scriptures. Baal is identified as the son of Dagon, another Amorite deity, possibly a vegetation or grain god, rather than El, who was undoubtedly the original head of the Canaanite gods. At Ras Shamra, the ancient Ugarit site, temples to Baal and Dagon have been uncovered, but none devoted to El himself. Baal is depicted in the scriptures wearing a helmet embellished with a bull's horns, a symbol of strength and fertility. He holds a club or mace in one hand, probably representing thunder, and a spear adorned with leaves in the other, possibly representing both lightning and vegetation. In Aramaean sculptures, Baal is depicted riding a bull, which may be related to Aaron and Jeroboam I's calf images, which were most likely used as pedestals for the invisible Yahweh. Anath, referred to euphemistically as the Virgin Anath, was Baal's spouse and sister, and shared many of his escapades. The Day of the Lord may have originated as a celebration of Yahweh's victory over the forces of chaos, presumably at the New Year festival in the Jerusalem temple, in a rite derived from a Canaanite predecessor. There is evidence that Baal and other Canaanite deities were worshipped in Egypt, but without becoming a serious threat to the native Egyptian religion. The situation was different in Israel, where, through the processes of syncretism, the worship of Yahweh was profoundly influenced and threatened by alien elements from the Baal cults.
See? Jake started becoming tainted, adopting the customs of in the ways of the heathen nations, man, which the Lord told us not to do. All right. This is in the law. This is Leviticus 18:1, and it reads, it says, and the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, your power. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein you dwelt, you should not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, all right, because as we're watching in this little documentary here, these are all these Canaanite gods, all right, that Israel couldn't let go, Leviticus 18:3, it says, and after the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein you dwelt, you should not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whether I bring you, you should not do, neither shall you walk in their ordinances, right? In their ways. Verse 4, you shall do my judgments and keep my ordinances to walk therein. I am the Lord your power. Verse 5, it says, ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments. If a man do, he shall live in them. I am the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah. You see? So yeah. All right. We went after the ways of these Hamites, man. All right, these Canaanites, these false gods, which is all being worshipped today. All right. Let's get this too. All right, this is Judges 2:11. It says Israel serves Baals. Okay. Gods that go back to Satan, man. All right. These heathen gods. Judges 2:11, it says, and the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, and served Baalim. And they forsook the Lord power of their fathers, which brought them out of the land of Egypt, and followed other gods of the people that were round about them, and bowed themselves unto them, and provoked the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai to anger. All right. This is why we got jacked up. All right. This is why we got conquered as a people and sent into captivity. All right, amongst these nations. Same thing today. All right. I'm gonna keep showing these images. All right, nothing new under the sun. All right, but all going back to as they were explaining, the sun god, the storm god, it was likened unto the supreme male deity. All right, worshipped by the Phoenicians and the Canaanites. All right, and you also had Asheroth, okay, which goes back to the goddess, the queen of heaven. All right, the worship of sex, vagina worship. Okay, all these pretty much all these unjust ways of these heathen, man. All right, and when you do the research on your own, you'll find out that all of them, all these guys, they all link, all back to your Nimrod, Ishtar, and Tammuz. All right, these Canaanite gods or whatnot, and they were all repackaged under different names, right? So anyway, where were we at? All right, verse Judges 2:13, and they forsook the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai and served Baal and Asheroth. You see, as I just mentioned, verse 14, Judges 2:14, and the anger of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai was hot against Israel, and he delivered them into the hands of spoilers that spoiled them, and he sold them into the hands of their enemies round about, so that they could no longer stand before their enemies. You see, this is why Israel fell. Verse 15, whithersoever they went out, the hand of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai was against them for evil, as the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai has said, and as the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai has sworn unto them, they were greatly distressed. You see that? So that's what happened. Let's read on. Let's go on some more in the clips. All right, we're just in the spirit. Salakia.
This was due to two main factors. First, the Israelites did not drive out the Canaanites, but intermarried with them, thus raising the problem of the interrelationship of Yahweh and Baal. Second, Yahweh had given Israel a considerable victory over the Canaanites, and his supremacy was unquestioned. Baal was considered the most powerful of all gods, eclipsing El, who was seen as rather weak and ineffective. In various battles, Baal defeated Yam, the god of the sea, and Mot, the god of death and the underworld. Baal's sisters, or consorts, were Ashtoreth, a fertility goddess associated with the stars, and Anath, a goddess of love and war. The Canaanites worshipped Baal as the sun god and as the storm god. He is usually depicted holding a lightning bolt, who defeated enemies and produced crops.
Right, and that also reminds you of Zeus. All right? They have images of him holding the lightning rod and all that. You know, all this stuff goes back to them Canaanite gods, as you see on the screen here, man. You know, like I said, all these guys, these same guys, but they're repackaged under different names, right? Nothing new is under the sun. That's why I keep going back to these images, man, because it's the same thing today. If you in the spirit, you can clearly see that. All right. And look at the condition of Jake today. All right. Throughout the world, and especially in America and Babylon, we through. All right. Because we've been given over to them dumb idols, man. You know, Jake is still secretly worshiping to these ancient Canaanite gods today, man. All right. Still under them same wicked vibrations today. And that's why our people are lost. All right. The scriptures say that my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, man. You see?
They also worshipped him as a fertility god who provided children. Baal worship was rooted in sensuality and involved ritualistic prostitution in the temples. At times, appeasing Baal required human sacrifice, usually the firstborn of the one making the sacrifice. Jeremiah chapter 19, verse 5, KJV. They have built also the high places of Baal, to burn their sons with fire for burnt offerings unto Baal, which I commanded not, nor spake it, neither came it into my mind. Baal's priests worshipped their deity with riotous rites that featured ecstatic shouts and self-inflicted harm. 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 28. So the prophets prayed louder and cut themselves with knives and daggers, according to their ritual, until blood flowed. Before the Hebrews entered the Promised Land, the Lord God forewarned against glorifying Canaan's gods, but Israel bent to idolism anyway.
See? Israel bent to idolism anyway, man. Jake was going to worship them Canaanite gods, man. Jake wasn't going to let go of those guys of Egypt, man. Same thing today. That's why you got niggas proud, boastfully saying black consciousness is the way, black woman is God, that queen of heaven spirit. All right, the gods of Kemet, all these different gods, thousands of different gods, man. You know, you could have sex, you know, with these animals, and the person will come out half animal, half human. All right, according to their doctrine, some god, you know, ejaculated and bust a nut, and then that's how the damn universe was formed. Madness, man. Same thing today, man. Jake ain't gonna let it go.
Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 14 through 15.
Want to join the six-figure club?
Shalakia.
Version. Ye shall not go after other gods, of the gods of the people which are round about you. For the Lord thy God is a jealous God among you, lest the anger of the Lord thy God be kindled against thee, and destroy thee from off the face of the earth.
Ooh, man, and our people got jacked up. Okay? This is spiritual, man. That's why it's key that you come back to the Lord. That's why you have the Lord. The Lord has raised up the remnant, all right, that will no longer lean upon him and that smote him. And now what are we doing? We're worshiping Yahweh Ba'ashim Shai in spirit and truth, man. You see that? As the prophecy said, you know, we will let go. We will come out of the dust, right? Let's get some scriptures real quick. Okay, and they want this lesson to be too long. All right, this is because we're just dealing with the scriptures that concern idolatry. These guys are the heathen nations. All right, Psalms 96, verse 3. All right, this is Psalms 96, verse 3. It says, declare his glory among the heathen, his wonders among all people. For the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai is great and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods. Okay, he's the only true power. Okay, the gods of the other nations are no gods. See, reading on, it says, Psalms 96 and 5, it says, for all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai made the heavens. All right, straight to the point. Let's get this too. This is Psalms 100. Psalms 115, verse 1, it says, heathen idols contrasted with the Lord. Psalms 115 and 1, it says, not unto us, O Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, not unto us, but unto thy name give glory, for thy mercy and for thy truth's sake. Verse 2, wherefore should the heathen say, where is now their power? But our power is in the heavens. He have done whatsoever he pleased. You see that? The Lord is the one, the Yahweh Shemel Shai is the power that's in full control of everything that's done on heaven and earth. All right. Verse 4, the idols, their idols are silver and gold, the work of man's hands. They have mouths, but they speak not. Eyes have they, but they see not. They have ears, but they hear not. Noses they have they, but they smell not. All right. Verse 7, they have hands, but they handle not. Feet have they, but they walk not. Neither speak they through their throat. Verse 8, it says, they that make them are like unto them. So is everyone that trusteth in them. Yeah, you did. You see that? It said they that make them are like unto them. So is everyone that trusted them. And so you dead just like these idols. You're nothing. All right. Verse 8, it says, verse 9, it says, O Israel, trust thou in the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai. He is their help and their shield. That's right, man. Yahweh Shemel Shai, the true power, is our help and our shield, man. And you Jake's gonna find out, man. As we get closer into the time of trouble, that big test is getting ready to happen. All right, by the forwarding of the charagma, Jacob's trouble, famine, shortages, civil unrest, you're gonna find out that these gods ain't gonna do shit for you in that time, man. All right, pursuing the Judges. Let's get that too. Was that Judges? Is it Judges the 4th chapter? Bear with me. Let me find it. The Judges 4 and 10. Let me see. Salakia. Was it Judges 11? All right, this is Judges 11 and bear with me. Salakia, let me find it. So the Lord said, go pray to them other gods, man. Hold on, let me find it real quick. Y'all bear with me. I know it's in Judges. Maybe a brother will post it. So I don't want to hold up. All right. What was it? Judges? I thought it was Judges, the 4th chapter. All right. Or was it Judges 10? Yeah, Judges 10. There we go. All right. Judges 10 and verse 13. All right. I'll start at verse 12. All right. This is start at verse 11. Nope. We're going to start at verse 10. All right. This is Judges 10 and 10. And it reads, it says, and the children of Israel cried unto the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, saying, we have sinned against thee, both because we have forsaken our power and also served Baalim. All right. Which we're seeing in this documentary here. Right. And we're going to go back to it. Verse 11, Judges 10 and 11, the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai said unto the children of Israel, did not I deliver you from the Egyptians and from the Amorites and from the children of Ammon and from the Philistines? The Zidonians also and the Amalekites and the Maonites did oppress you, and you cried to me, and I delivered you out of their hand. See? Verse 13, yet ye have forsaken me and served other gods. Wherefore I will deliver you no more. See? Verse 14. Go and cry unto the gods which you have chosen. Let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation. Yeah. So you Jakes that don't want to believe, that want to continue to be in the spirit of rebellion. All right. And I'm talking about you Israelites out there, man. All right. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans and Hispanics that want to lean upon your own understanding, that want to go about to establish your own righteousness. All right. When this shit hits the fan, let's see if these guys come and deliver your ass. All right. The Lord said, go cry unto them other gods and see if they deliver you from your tribulation. Right? Because as we're going through this lesson, as we're learning from this history, all this stuff is repeated patterns. Okay? It's the same stumbling blocks, the same idolatry. Our people secretly worshiping these idols to this very day, man. All right. So the worship of Baal was a constant struggle for the Israelites unto this very day, as you're hearing about what happened in the past. Right now, before I move on, let me get one more scripture here, as I was quoting it from the beginning of the lesson. All right, this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14. All right, because idolatry, all right, the worshiping of idols and the ways of these heathen was always the fall of our people, going back to the sons of God during the time of Adam. All right, sons of God fell what? To idolatry. All right. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14. And let's start at verse 5 here. And it reads, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 5. It says, nevertheless, thou wouldest not that the works of thy wisdom should be idle, and therefore do men commit their lives to a small piece of wood, and passing the rough sea in a weak vessel are saved. Going back to what? Noah. All right. That's that passing the rough sea in a weak vessel are saved. Noah and his 3 sons and their wives. Right? That's what it's talking about. Okay. It says, verse 6, for in the old time also, when the proud giants perished, all right, the sons of God, okay, those famous and renowned men, okay, when the proud giants perished, the hope of the world governed by thy hand escaped in a weak vessel, and left to all ages a seed of generation. All right. Reading on. Verse 6. For blessed is the wood whereby righteousness cometh. All right. Because Noah was saved. All right. Through the ark. All right. Verse 8, it says, okay. Salakia. Yep. Verse 8. It says, but that which is made with hands is cursed, as well as he that made it, because it says because he made it, and it because being corruptible it was called God. Yeah, these idols, these false gods. All right. It says but that which made it with hands is cursed, as well as he that made it, he because he made it, and it because being corruptible was called God. For the ungodly and his ungodliness are both alike hateful unto the Most High. Verse 10. All right. Salakia. Verse 10, it says, for that which is made shall be punished together with him that made it. Verse 11. Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation, because the creature of the Most High, they are become an abomination and stumbling blocks to souls of men, and a snare to the feet of the unwise. You see that? So these idols are nothing but a snare, a trap. All right. To the feet of the unwise. All right. You 2/3 out there, man. All right. You Edomites and the rest of you heathens. What's the nation's gods or no gods, man? You see that? Let me get a quick precept. This is Isaiah 44. Matter of fact, we'll come back to that. Let me read on. Salakia. We'll come back to that. All right. So where do we stop at? Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 11. Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles, there should be a visitation, because in the creature of God, they are become an abomination and stumbling blocks to the souls of men, and a snare to the feet of the unwise. Verse 12. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication. See that? And the invention, okay, and the invention of them, the corruption of life. See that? So that spiritual fornication, that spiritual adultery, all right, stepping out on the Most High, man, playing the harlot with these other nations' idols and gods, okay? This is when we became corrupted, all right? This is when we failed, going all the way back to the sons of God, okay? The flood came, you know, all manners of wickedness was going on, man. It says the invention of them, the corruption of life, because we fell away from the divine way. We fell away from righteousness. So therefore, corruption came in. Corruption came into the world, you know. For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever. Verse 14. For by the vainglory of men they entered into the world, and therefore shall they come shortly to an end. Yeah, the Lord is going to destroy all these idols, man. All right, it tells you that in what is that in Isaiah 19? Let's get that real quick. Right? Isaiah 19:1, it says, the burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. You see that? So the Lord is, when the Lord comes, all right, he's going to get rid of all these idols, man. All right. So let's go back. I want to jump down. All right, that was Wisdom of Solomon 14. All right, let's jump down to same chapter, verse 27. All right. Verse 27, it says, Wisdom of Solomon 14:27, it says, for the worshiping of idols not to be named is the beginning, cause, and end of all evil. See? Boom, man. Right? It says, verse 28, for either they are mad when they be merry, or prophesy lies, or live unjustly, or else lightly forswear themselves. Verse 29, for in so much as their trust is in idols which have no life, though they swear falsely, yet they look not to be hurt. It says, howbeit for both cases, Salaki, howbeit for both causes shall they be justly punished, both because they thought not well of the Most High, giving heed unto idols, and also unjustly swore in deceit, despising holiness. You see that? So you people out there, all right, that hang on to these idols, all right, you're going to be put to death. All right. Like it tells you, was it in Second Chronicles? Was it 13 and 15? All right. Anybody that doesn't worship the true power of Israel, Yahweh Shema Shai, should be put to death, whether it be man, woman, or child. Okay. Jake, you got to wake the hell up. All right. So let's play a little bit more and we'll wrap it up.
Prophet Elijah. During the reign of Ahab and Jezebel, at the height of Baal worship in Israel, God directly confronted the paganism through his prophet Elijah. First, God showed that he, not Baal, controlled the rain by sending a drought lasting 3.5 years. 1 Kings chapter 17, verse 1, NKJV. And Elijah, the Tishbite of the inhabitants of Gilead, said to Ahab, as the Lord God of Israel lives, before whom I stand, there shall not be dew nor rain these years, except at my word. 1 Kings chapter 16, verse 30, New King James Version. Now Ahab, the son of Omri, did evil in the sight of the Lord, more than all who were before him. Allow me to introduce you to the three main characters in this incredible Bible story. The first is Ahab, the king of Israel, who did more evil than all the previous kings combined. The second character is Jezebel, Ahab's wife. She decided to replace the Lord God's worship with worship of Baal. Elijah, one of God's great prophets, is the third character. His name translates as Jehovah is my God. While Jezebel was destroying the people and places associated with the true God, the Lord sent a man whose name testified that the Lord Jehovah was his God. 1 Kings chapter 17, verse 3, New King James Version. Get away from here and turn eastward, and hide by the brook Cherith, which flows into the Jordan. 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 1, New King James Version. And it came to pass after many days that the word of the Lord came to Elijah in the 3rd year, saying, Go, present yourself to Ahab, and I will send rain on the earth. How did Elijah know God was alive and trustworthy? Hide and present yourself, the Lord said to Elijah. Those two phrases show us, like Elijah, how we can know God is alive. 1. Privately hide. Elijah is used as an example of the power of prayer in James chapter 5, verses 17 and 18. A man with a nature like ours, James said. That means he was a regular guy. Elijah was a man of greatness, but he was also a man of weakness. But one fact redeems everything about Elijah. He was a man of prayer. James chapter 5, verses 17 through 18, New King James Version. Elijah was a man with a nature like ours, and he prayed earnestly that it would not rain, and it did not rain on the land for 3 years and 6 months. And he prayed again, and the heaven gave rain, and the earth produced its fruit. Not
Shalakia. We're going to play a little bit more. And that'd be it.
only did Elijah pray, but he prayed earnestly. The key to determine whether God is alive or not is hiding, as you learn to connect with God through earnest prayer.
Yeah, we'll leave it right there. You can watch the rest. I'll post it in the description box, right? But you know that Elijah called down fire from heaven and smote those 450 false prophets, right? When you go into the story. But I just want to get this too. All right. I said I don't want this lesson to be too long. All right, let's get this too. This is Deuteronomy 4. All right. Deuteronomy 4:15, it says, Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for you saw no manner of the similitude on the day that the Lord Yahweh Shemel spake unto you in Horeb out of the midst of the fire, lest you corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image in the similitude of any figure, the likeness of a male or female, the likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flieth in the air, the likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth. It says, unless thou lift up thy eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the hosts of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them and serve them, which the Lord thy power hath divided unto all nations under the whole heaven. All right. It says, verse 20, but the Lord Yahweh Shemel have taken you and brought you out of the iron furnace, even out of Egypt, to be unto him a people of inheritance as ye are this day. All right. Let's get this too. All right. Yeah. It's Isaiah 49, Salakia, Isaiah 44. And we'll start up a little bit. All right. It's Isaiah 44:6. And it reads, it says, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shemel, the King of Israel, and his Redeemer, the Lord Yahweh Shemel of hosts. I am the first, I am the last, and beside me there is no power. And who as I shall call and shall declare it, and set it in order for me, since I appointed the ancient people. And the things that are coming and shall come, let them show unto them. Fear ye not, neither be afraid. Have I not told thee from that time and have declared it? Ye are my witnesses, and there is no power beside me. Yea, there is no power, I know not any. See? The folly of idolatry, Isaiah 44:9, it says, They that make a graven image are all of them vanity, and their delectable things shall not profit. And they are their own witnesses. They see not, nor know that they may be ashamed. And that's what's going to happen to these people that trust into these idols. You're going to be ashamed in that time, man. Okay? Because you're going to see that your idols, your particular doctrine or philosophy that you believe in is not going to be of any value. It's not going to save you. We're going to get that too. Verse 10, it says, Who have formed a god or molten image that is profitable for nothing? Verse 11, Behold, all his fellows shall be ashamed, and the workmen. They are all men. Let them all be gathered together. Let them stand up. They shall fear, and they shall be ashamed together. You see? All you Jakes out there that's pushing that black consciousness bullshit, the thousand Kemet gods, all right, Pan-Africanism, Egyptology, right, Islam, you're going to all be ashamed together, all right? Thinking that a white man going to come out the clouds, you Christians, the color of the Lord don't matter. Okay, you're going to all be ashamed, all right? You're an atheist, you know? It says the smith with tongs both worketh in the coals and fashion it with hammers and worketh it with the strength of his arms. Yea, he is hungry and his strength faileth. He drinketh no water and is faint. All right. These idols can't do nothing. The carpenter stretcheth out his rule. He marketeth out with a line. He fitteth it with planes, and he marketh it out with a compass, and maketh after the figure of a man, according to the beauty of a man that remaineth in the house. He heweth down cedars and taketh the cypress and oak. Yeah, you cut down the trees. Jake was making the groves, making the wooden idols and statues, you know. It says, which he strengthened for himself among the trees of the forest. He planted an ash, and the rain doeth nourish it. All right. It says, then it shall be for a man to burn, for he will take it thereof and warm himself. Yea, he kindle it and baketh bread. Yea, he maketh a god and worship it. He maketh a graven image and falleth down thereto. He bowed down to it. All right. Reading on, it says, he burneth part thereof in the fire, and with part thereof he eateth flesh. He roasteth roast and is satisfied. Yea, he warmeth himself and say, I am warm. I have seen the fire. And the residue thereof he maketh a god, even his graven image. He falleth down to it and worship it and prayeth unto it and saith, deliver me, for thou art my God. They have not known nor understood, for he have shut their eyes, they cannot see, and their hearts they cannot understand. All right, because essentially you've been blinded. Okay, it says, and none considereth in his heart, neither is there any knowledge nor understanding to say, I have burned the part of it in the fire. Yea, also I have baked bread upon the coals thereof. I have roasted flesh and eaten it. And shall I make the residue of an abomination? Shall I fall down to the stock of a tree? Right? He feedeth on ashes, and a deceived heart have turned him aside, that he cannot deliver his soul, nor say, is there not a lie in my right hand? You see that? Because you've been blinded, man. And all you Jakes that continue to serve these idols, you're going to be destroyed. Period, man. You know? It also mentioned that in Jeremiah, the 2nd chapter. Let me get that too. All right. Right? It says, this is Jeremiah chapter 2. All right. And I want to start at verse. Bear with me. I feel like I was just there. All right. Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 26. Yeah, we'll start there. All right. So this is Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 26. All right. And it reads, it says, as the thief is ashamed when he is found, so is the house of Israel ashamed. They, their kings, their princes, and their priests, and their prophets. Verse 27. All right. It says, matter of fact, I meant to start at verse 25. Salakia. Jeremiah 2 and 25, it says, withhold thy foot from being unshod, and thy throat from thirst. But thou saidest, there is no hope. No, for I have loved strangers, and after them will I go, as we saw in the documentary. All right. Jake continued to play the harlot, to go after the idols in the ways of the heathen. All right. Jake said, I love strangers, and I will go after, and after them will I go. All right. So Jake loves the philosophies and the idols and the religions of the world, the false doctrines of the world. They're going to continue to stay upon them. Right. And now you understand why Yahweh Shema Shah is angry. It says, as the thief is ashamed when he is found, so is the house of Israel ashamed they, their kings, their princes, their priests, and their prophets, saying to a stock, all right, a stock is like what, a block of wood, saying to a stock, thou art my father, and to a stone, thou hast brought me forth, all right? And that made me think about, how Jake would pray to that cross, right? And to that stone you got over there in was it in Mecca? All right, they pray to the what's it called, the Kabbalah stone, if I'm saying it right. Over there in Mecca, the Muslims, it says, unto a stone thou hast brought me forth, for they have turned their back unto me and not their face, but in the time of their trouble they will say, arise and save us. You see? Verse 28, but where are thy gods that thou hast made thee? Let them arise, if they can save thee in the time of thy trouble, for according to the number of thy cities are thy gods, O Judah. Yeah, so once again, the Lord said, cry unto them gods that you created with your own hands in the time of your trouble and see if they save you. See that? And that's why Jacob is going to find out in the worst way, because essentially, as I was saying, let's get this too, all right? Isaiah 41, all right? Jake going to find out, all right, that you didn't have the answers, that your gods were incorrect, all right? Isaiah, let me get that. Isaiah, was it 41? All right, bear with me. So Isaiah 41. Yeah, Isaiah 41 in verse. All right, Isaiah 41 in verse 21. Okay. Matter of fact, we can start up. Yeah, we can start at verse 17. We was there. All right, this is Isaiah. All right, it's Isaiah chapter 41, verse 17. It says, when the poor and needy seek water, there is none. All right. And the water is the truth. So it says, when the poor and needy seeketh water, there is none, and their tongue felleth for thirst. All right. And the reason why Jake's tongue felleth for thirst, all right, is because these other doctrines and religions and philosophies hold no water. They don't hold the true living water. All right. So our people are always thirsty. They don't have the truth. I, the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah, will hear them. I, the power of Israel, will not forsake them. Verse 18, it says, I will open rivers in high places, and the fountains in the midst of the valleys. I will make the wilderness a pool of water. All right. And that's by the way of this internet. All right. You see the prophets of Yahweh Shema Shai out there on the highways and hedges. All right. Pushing the truth. So the Lord said, I will make the wilderness, because America is likened unto the wilderness, right? I will make the wilderness a pool of water. That's where the flood of waters is going out at, right? There's truth. And the dry land, springs of water, all right? Prophecy, the word going out, okay? It says, verse 19, and I will plant in the wilderness the cedar, all right? And it says, and the shittah tree, in the myrtle, and the oil tree, and I will set in the desert the fir tree and the pine and the box tree together. All right. Because what the Lord did, pursuing the prophecy, is he raised up the prophets. He raised up the true leaders, the teachers. All right. Because remember, people are regarded as trees. And this is symbolic of the prophets, of the leaders of Israel. All right. Giving the people the truth. All right. It says, verse 21, produce your cause. Here's the point. Isaiah 41 and 21, it says, produce your cause, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai. Bring forth your strong reasons, saith the King of Jacob. Verse 22, let them bring them forth and show us what shall happen. Let them show us the former things, what they shall be, that we may consider them and know the latter end of them, or declare us things for to come. So let these gods that you believe in, all right, let them show us what the future beholds. All right, let them declare unto us the prophecies, what's getting ready to happen in the last days. All right, all these things that are going on the earth. Let these idols, let these gods give us the answer. Right, produce your strong reasons. Verse 23, it says, show the things that show the things that are to come hereafter, that we may know that you are gods. Yeah, prove it. Show us. Yea, do good or do evil, that we may be dismayed and behold it together. You see? Verse 24. Behold, ye are of nothing, and your work of naught. An abomination is he that chooseth you. Yeah. An abomination is he that chooseth you. All right. The ones that believe in this badness, man, that continue to hold on, all right, to the ways of the heathen. All right. You're going to be destroyed. Ultimately, is what the Lord is saying. All right. And it's going to come of no value. You see that? You're not gonna receive salvation, all right, from these false gods. All right. There's only one true power, one doctrine, one God, you know. So that's pretty much the point there, man. You know, I pray that this lesson was edifying. Just wanted to bring it out. You know, just checking out that documentary there. I'll post it in the description box. But outside of that, hey, Lord willing, the lesson was edifying. All right, I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. And double salutations to all you Akim out there laboring in the house of David. All right, the elect that's pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Hey, shalom to you, brothers. Hey, shalom.